For years, the experts laughed at the Saab Gripen. In the world of high-stakes military aviation, reputations are everything, and the Gripen's was, frankly, a punchline. At airshows and in briefing rooms, seasoned analysts would smirk, dismissing it as a lightweight, a toy compared to the heavyweights of the sky. The jokes practically wrote themselves. Why bother with a Swedish jet when you could have an American or French Marvel? Too small, too simple, they said. Just a budget fighter for countries that couldn't afford the real jets. The Gripen was the practical choice for air forces with tight wallets, not the dream machine for those chasing glory. It was the sensible sedan in a parking lot full of supercars, the practical pick for those who couldn't, or wouldn't, pay for flash. The F-16S and Rafales were the champions. The Gripen was the sensible shoe in a world of racing boots. It was easy to overlook, easy to underestimate. The big names had the swagger, the legacy, the blockbuster contracts. The Gripen, it was the quiet kid at the back of the class, never picked first for the team. Its efficiency and low cost were seen as weaknesses, not strengths. In a world obsessed with cutting-edge tech and eye-watering price tags, the Gripen's affordability was almost embarrassing. You get what you pay for, the critics sneered, as if a lower price tag meant lower performance. The defense industry giants believed bigger was always better, and the Gripen was dismissed as a compromise. The boardrooms and procurement offices were filled with talk of stealth, super cruise, and multi-role dominance. The Gripen, with its modest size and pragmatic design, was rarely part of those conversations. Even the new Gripen E was met with the same old skepticism, a little more power, but still just a Gripen. The upgrades were acknowledged, but the attitude remained. It was still the underdog, still the outsider. The skeptics saw a minor evolution, not a revolution. The mockery was relentless. If you bought Swedish, you were just saving money. The implication was clear. You were settling, compromising, choosing value over victory. Defense budgets and national pride were at stake, and the Gripen was rarely the headline act. But the world missed what was happening right under their noses. While the spotlight shone elsewhere, the Gripen was quietly racking up flight hours, impressing pilots, and evolving with each new iteration. It was being tested in harsh conditions, refined by real-world feedback, and quietly building a reputation among those who actually flew it. The Gripen wasn't just clever, it was quietly becoming a revolution. Its modular design, ease of maintenance, and adaptability were rewriting the rules of what a modern fighter could be. It was proving that you didn't need to be the biggest or the flashiest to be the most effective. In the hands of skilled pilots and ground crews, the Gripen was a force multiplier. The experts couldn't see the threat growing. They were too busy chasing the next big thing, too distracted by marketing hype and legacy contracts. The Gripen was flying under the radar, literally and figuratively, while the world's attention was elsewhere. They were about to be horrified by the power they'd arrogantly dismissed. The moment was coming when the underdog would step into the spotlight, not with a whisper but with a roar. The same experts who once laughed would soon be scrambling to understand how they missed the signs. The underdog was about to bite back. Years of quiet innovation and relentless improvement were about to pay off. The world would soon realize that the Gripen wasn't just a budget option, it was a game changer, a disruptor, a jet that could outthink and outfight its rivals. And the laughter was about to end. The age of the underestimated was over, and the world was about to witness what happens when an underdog refuses to stay in the shadows. Then, everything changed. In June 2025, Thailand needed new jets to replace their F-16S. The world expected them to buy American again, but Thailand shocked everyone. They chose the Gripen E. Suddenly, the laughter stopped. A key US ally in Asia had picked the budget fighter over the gold standard. The experts' theories were in tatters. Thailand's choice was a declaration. The Gripen E wasn't just a cheap alternative, but a superior machine. The rivals who mocked it now saw a nimble, deadly predator. The underdog had become a giant killer, and the world was forced to take notice. What transformed the Gripen E from a nimble, clever fighter into a true force to be reckoned with? The answer lies deep within its fuselage, where a new era of power and performance was born. Saab engineers gave the Gripen E a new heart, one that would redefine its capabilities and set it apart from its predecessors. At the core of this transformation is the General Electric F414 engine, a marvel of modern engineering that's as reliable as it is powerful. This is the same powerhouse that propels the US Navy's FA-18 Super Hornet, a jet designed to endure the brutal demands of carrier launches and recoveries at sea. The F414's reputation for toughness and raw output is legendary. Now imagine that kind of muscle packed into the Gripen's lightweight, agile airframe. The result is a fighter that's not just quick on its feet but also packs a serious punch. With the F414, the Gripen E boasts 20% more thrust than its predecessor. That means faster climbs, sharper turns, and the ability to carry heavier payloads, more missiles, more fuel, more options in combat. It's a leap in performance that pilots can feel every time they push the throttle. The Gripen E rockets to Mach 2, putting it in the same league as much larger, heavier fighters. It can accelerate with astonishing speed, break the sound barrier with ease, and keep up with the best in the world. The old Gripen was known for its clever design and smart tactics, but the new Gripen E is a brute force machine. It's not just about brains anymore, it's about brawn too. This jet is both a sprinter and a marathon runner. It can dash across the sky at incredible speeds, but it's also built for endurance, able to fly long missions without breaking a sweat. Fast, powerful, and efficient, the Gripen E is ready for any challenge. The Gripen E, with its roaring new engine, has earned its place among the world's elite fighters, and it's just getting started. In air combat, seeing first means winning. The Gripen E's secret? Its Raven E-05 ESA radar. This advanced system lets it spot enemies long before they're aware. Unlike old radars, the Raven can track multiple targets in every direction all at once. It scans, guides missiles, and jams enemy electronics simultaneously. The pilot gets a real-time, 360-degree view of the battlefield. Situational awareness is everything, knowing where every friend and foe is, before they become threats. The Gripen E's sensor suite and cockpit display give pilots a godlike view. It can outthink and outsee its rivals, turning the sky into its chessboard. The competition's supposed technological edge? Gone. The Gripen E is a flying genius with the eyes of a hawk, and that terrifies its rivals. A fighter is only as good as its weapons. The Gripen E carries the Meteor missile, arguably the world's best air-to-air weapon. Its ramjet engine keeps it powered all the way to the target, even at over 100 kilometers. Most missiles lose energy. The Meteor keeps hunting. There's no escape. Enemy pilots can't outrun or outturn it. The Meteor's massive no-escape zone gives Gripen pilots a huge advantage. They can strike from a safe distance, confident their missile will hit. This transforms the Gripen E into a true air superiority fighter. Combined with its radar, it can see you and shoot you before you even know it's there. The mockery has ended. Now, it's the competition that's worried. Here's what really drives the competition mad. The Gripen E isn't just another fighter jet. It's a marvel of modern engineering, a machine that's powerful, deadly, and most impressively, astonishingly cheap to operate. In a world where military budgets are stretched and every dollar counts, the Gripen E stands out as a true disruptor. Flying a Gripen E costs about $4,000 per hour. To put that in perspective, the F-16V, one of its closest Western competitors, costs nearly double that amount. And if you look at the French Rafale or the Eurofighter Typhoon, the costs soar even higher, making the Gripen E a clear winner in terms of operational affordability. This low cost per flight hour isn't just a number on a spreadsheet. It means air forces can fly more missions, train their pilots more frequently, and keep their squadrons sharp, all without blowing through their budgets. In the world of air combat, experience and readiness are everything, and the Gripen E gives its operators a crucial edge. The Gripen E was designed from the ground up for easy maintenance. It can be refueled and rearmed in just 10 minutes by a small, highly trained crew. And here's the kicker. This can be done not just at air bases but even on stretches of highway or remote roads, far from the prying eyes of enemy satellites. Unlike many of its rivals, the Gripen E doesn't need sprawling, vulnerable air bases to operate. It can take off and land from short, improvised runways, highways, or even rural roads. This ability to disperse and operate from almost anywhere makes it incredibly hard to target and nearly impossible to pin down. This flexibility is a massive strategic advantage. In a conflict when airfields are prime targets, the Gripen E's operators can keep their jets flying and fighting, while others are grounded or scrambling to relocate. While other air forces struggle with ballooning costs and logistical headaches, Gripen operators keep their pilots in the air, training and honing their skills. The result? A force that's always ready, always sharp, and always a step ahead. The Gripen E's open architecture design is another stroke of genius. Upgrades and new systems can be integrated quickly and affordably, without the need for expensive overhauls or lengthy downtime. This means the jet can evolve with the times, staying ahead of threats, and adapting to new technologies as they emerge. Saab has built a fighter that's not just a warrior in the skies, but an economic genius on the ground. Every aspect of the Gripen E is designed for efficiency, from its modular construction to its streamlined logistics. In the world of modern air combat, you don't need to be the most expensive to be the best. The Gripen E proves that smart design, operational flexibility, and cost-effectiveness can outmatch brute force and bloated budgets. The Gripen E's efficiency is its secret weapon, a force multiplier that lets smaller air forces punch far above their weight and gives larger ones the freedom to do more with less. In every sense, the Gripen E is a game-changer. It's rewriting the rules of what a modern fighter can be, and setting new standards for the entire industry. And that's exactly what horrifies the competition, because when you combine power, flexibility, and unmatched efficiency, you don't just win contracts, you change the game forever. Thailand's decision in 2025 changed everything. In a tough neighborhood with China and modernizing neighbors, Thailand needed a real deterrent. The easy choice was the American F-16V, familiar, politically safe. But after a 10-month evaluation, Thailand chose the Gripen E. Why? Because it matched or beat the F-16 in performance and technology. Its radar and Meteor missiles gave it a real edge, but the clincher was efficiency. Low operating costs meant more jets in the air, more often. Thailand already knew the Gripen was reliable and easy to maintain. Saab's offer included technology transfer, building up Thailand's aerospace industry. For Thailand, it wasn't just a jet, it was a smart investment in the future. Their choice sent a clear message. The Gripen E is no longer the underdog, it's the smart dog. And the world took notice. But there's a twist. The Gripen's greatest strength is also its weakness. Its powerful American engine comes with strings attached. The US controls its export through strict regulations. Saab can build the best fighter, but Washington has a secret veto. If the US doesn't approve, the deal collapses. The Gripen's independence is, in reality, an illusion. This isn't just theory, it's happened before. In 2025, Colombia's Gripen deal fell apart when the US blocked engine exports. The message was clear: no matter how good the Gripen is, America holds the keys. For countries with US approval, it's not an issue. But for others, buying the Gripen is a gamble. The jet's fate is often decided in Washington, not Stockholm. It's a powerful warrior, but with a political leash. The Gripen E's journey is one from mockery to mastery, a transformation few could have predicted. Once dismissed as the IKEA fighter, it's now respected, and even feared by rivals. The Thailand deal shattered old myths and forced the world to look again at Sweden's creation. They saw a lethal predator, not a lightweight or a mere budget option. The Gripen E's power is in its balance. American heart, Hawk's eyes, Hornet's sting, all in one. Its true genius is devastating capability at a fraction of the cost of its competitors. It can do what billion-dollar jets do, more efficiently, reliably, and with less support. The Gripen E has changed the game, proving smart design and innovation beat brute force. While it still faces the political hurdle of its American engine, its success is inspiring air forces worldwide to rethink their choices. Nations now realize you don't need the biggest budget for the sharpest teeth in the sky. The Underdog from Sweden has shown its power and earned global respect. The world of aerial combat will never be the same after the Gripen E's rise. And no one's laughing anymore. Now, they're watching closely.